producer.
I think his name is Metronome. Or
I'm pretty sure it's probably
Mr. Gnome.
I'm pretty
Probably not Mr. Gnome.
Mr. Gnome.
But Metronome.
I can picture that, but yeah, like I can picture a bunch of rich like producer people be like they would use every word associated with music to like make a cool name. Shit.
Just all in the future, all of the like music names and notes will be taken by artists.
Right.
Like whatever that minor. There's already like someone named Minor Key.
Minor Key. That's a fucking dope ass name.
I'm sure a rapper took that already. Minor Key. Yo, my name is Minor.
Yeah.
Fucking Minor Key. Get it? See? Let me take you to a tree. Like I don't know. Someone. I'm sure someone already took Minor Key.
You got your boy Treble.
Yeah.
Treble.
Yo, trouble on the mic. Now I mean, do it right.
You're in trouble when you step across treble.
You're in trouble when you step across trouble.
Yeah, you're in trouble when you step across treble.
Play on the couch.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to the first episode of the. I guess I don't even know what we're calling this. This is Jacob and I. We're gonna do a podcast every week where we just shoot the shit. A lot of the time, Jacob and I, we sit and we talk and we just go off on just these tangents. And I want to capture these moments from when we get old and our brains, they don't work anymore. We can, you remember when we used to be able to like talk cohesively and shit, man?
We have this stash of nostalgia to go back to.
For real, we really do. Already though, that's fucking. I think why it's mad cool working with you still, because there's mad things in the past that we like. Oh, remember when we tried to do this shit? Like Jacob and I has tried to do music. We've done like music videos. We've done improv together. Like the only thing I think part of the arts. I think the thing that you and I have never done like a serious play together or whatever. But other than that, like all of my art shit, I can remember Jake like doing that with some of my first videos with Carriage House. Right. Jacob as a tiny little kid, fucking.
You guys were like the superheroes of that place, man. It was like,
oh my god,
it's awesome,
so
man.
great.
That long road of that artistic road, you know.
Artistic road. Doesn't sound good when you say it like that. The artistic road.
It's like,
slowly. Wait, what?
No, you're good.
I was gonna say it sounds like autistic.
I didn't think about that.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying when you say like, that artistic road, it just sounds weird. I'm like, wait, yeah, I guess the choices do feel a little autistic. Being a artist is very much a challenging endeavor, as they say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What video games have you been playing? Have you been?
Oh man, I pretty much only have like 2 or 3 I've been doing. Like I got into Halo again recently.
Oh yeah,
I got the
Xbox.
I don't know, man. It was just one day I was at work and I'm just like, I just want to play some Halo. So I was like, I'm gonna get it done. You know what I'm saying? So went out and got an Xbox and just been playing that to death and annoying the wife with it. You know, whenever I get the chance.
I'm sure Angela is excited to have another system in the house.
Oh yeah, but she told me she was fine with getting it. She just one thing I have a problem about doing is when I'm done with something, I usually don't hold on to it. So I have already had an Xbox a couple years ago and had my Halo addiction back then, and then when I was done with it, I was like, I'm gonna sell it, and I got rid of, and that's what I do with video games too. Like after I'm done with it, usually I will sell them if I'm done with them. My wife is like, no.
Yeah, what video games have you sold already?
Oh, like no, not like recently, but when I'm done with it, I'll bring it back to like GameStop or something. I'll do what I call the GameStop loop of like returns, because they have a return policy where if you beat the game within if you not beat it, but if you return the game within 7 days, you get your full money back. So what I was doing for a while was I was getting pre-owned games and I would play them to death in a week, and I would just bring it back at the end of the week, and I would be able to get a new game with that same money. And I did this like when I was in Washington, I did this a lot. But the only bad thing about it is, I mean, yes, it's their policy, but you start to build up a receipt of a history of doing this. So one time I went to GameStop doing the same thing, and like the manager caught on to it, and she was just like, just so you know, like she was like, just so you know, like this is the last time you're probably gonna be able to do this and whatnot. And I was just like, okay, whatever. But like at the end of the day, like that's your policy. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't hate me, hate your corporate lawyers who made that policy. You know what I'm saying?
How did she find you out though?
Because I guess what happens is you have to keep the same receipt, and what happens every time you get a new game, the receipt gets longer.
Right.
Because they can see all the past games you brought in.
Right.
So like my receipt was probably like 2 feet long at one point.
Fucking choose a game. God damn it.
It was so awesome because it was literally like a library. Like you're getting to play all these games and you literally only like so this is how it started. Like I spent maybe $20 in being on one game, and that $20 led me to play like 10 to 15 games for free basically because. So that was my system for a little while there.
I can totally see why she was pissed off. She's like, dude, what the fuck, dude?
Right.
Like, I don't know. I've never done that. I've always played the game and then I keep it. Especially if I like it. Even if I don't like it, and then I give it away. Like, all the games, the old games that I've had, I've given them away. I don't think I've ever sold any of them. Even my favorite, like, I wish I didn't give away was San Andreas. For some reason, I wish I would have kept on to San Andreas.
That was great.
That's my favorite. I'll tell everyone until one of my favorite games.
Oh, amazing game.
It just had everything you fucking wanted.
Yeah, it was like the GTA 5 of the PS2, you know, like, because the other Grand Theft Autos, obviously Grand Theft Autos came before that and stuff, but like that was the one for me, like just like you, like for me, like I was like, wow, this is something, like this is the next level stuff.
Right.
I always remember this. One of the things that blew my mind in that game, and it's something really simple. It's not nothing breathtaking or anything, but for me it was when I was that age, was when you would go from the city to the country, and let's say you were in the woods in the countryside.
Right.
And the police that showed up were like country type police.
Yeah,
and that blew my mind as a kid. I'm like, yo, like that's that, like there's that small detail. Let's not say it's not breathtaking, like probably
but
now,
it's
but like
detail.
Yeah, like.
But I agree. Like for me, the detail that blew my mind is being able to fluctuate your character's weight. Like being able to, if you ate too much, you'd get big, and if you worked out a lot, you got diesel. Like being able to adapt your character's body depending on how much you ate. Like that was amazing to me. Being able to I think you could choose different fighting styles. I believe at the time there was so many. You're right.
You just reminded me too. Like I forgot you could do that in that game. Like with the weight and like what you ate and like worked out.
And you had to eat. Like you have to make sure that your character ate every day and kept up with that stuff. Like if it just felt like your decision is one of the first games that felt like your decisions actually mattered and affected your character.
I thought it was pretty cool too in that game because I think that's the first time you could ride a bicycle.
Yes. I think at Grove Street. Yes.
One of the first missions you're on a bicycle. I'm like, what? You riding bikes now and stuff? Like,
yeah. Well, it's just so funny because I think it might have been Vice City was the one with the first motorcycle. Because I don't think Grand Theft Auto 3 did not have motorcycles. They were just cars.
I think Vice City, you're right.
And Vice City was the first time you could ride motorcycles, and that was cool for me. I remember that. That was like, yo, go ride a motorcycle.
it's crazy how much time has developed too. Because I remember like in the Vice City and stuff like that, like. You couldn't even go in the water. If you went in the water, you instantly died. And stuff.
You just died.
So it's crazy, like how much they've progressed and like.
Yeah, and now water is like part of the whole
exactly.
thing. You can go swimming and deal with
go
sharks
underwater and whatnot and stuff.
Yeah. That just shows how big the world has expanded, man.
Yeah, and one thing that you remind me when you said the sharks and stuff is even in Grand Theft Auto 5, one thing that's cool is like because obviously every game is gonna have boundaries. Like you can't go in certain places, but GTA 5 does it in an amazing way where it's like if you go out too far in the ocean. Like a shark just comes and eats you. Like it's just like a natural like feeling and stuff. Like we were talking about earlier in the day too. Like how some games they do boundaries wrong. Like it's stupid. Like why can't I hop over this tiny little rock and stuff? You know, like
this is the end. You can't hop. But and then I can climb that other mountain over there, but I can't like this one for some reason. I can't like.
So
I don't know if I like mountains. I feel like a lot of games do mountains as the like final this is the border.
Yeah, right.
And not that it's like what other choices do you have really? But I don't know. I get kind of over the mountain shit.
Yeah. But other than but just go back to your question. Other than the Halo stuff, just been playing But a little bit of Warzone too, like the Call of Duty stuff. Just get that like kind of military shooter fix in there and whatnot. Like, but nothing too crazy going on.
I can't do that, man. I tried when I first got my PlayStation 4. I tried the Call of Duty thing because it was a free game.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And I just got mollywopped every single time. And then sometimes you'd have to wait so long. I'm like, I could be using this time playing some other game. I can't. This is not for me.
No.
It's too much of a learning curve to jump in right now with all these people who've been playing Call of Duty for all these years. They've had all this time to get really good at that. I don't know. I don't know.
I completely get you though. You're so right, because there's times where, like, for in that game it's like the battle royale, so it's like you have the one life, and then if you die you have like the second chance. But like after that, you literally have to start you have to go to a new lobby, you have to start everything over again. So I completely get, because sometimes I'm sitting there too, like where I'm having a sucky day or something, and I'm just like, damn, like I play maybe like 5 to 10 minutes, then I'm waiting another 5 minutes to play and stuff. And you're right, because time is very valuable. So it's like sometimes you're sitting there like, and that's why I was saying to myself the other day, because I stopped playing Warzone for them and I went to play Halo, just because sometimes you just want to keep playing. You don't want to wait in lobbies and stuff to play and stuff. So I completely get it.
And the rewards in those games don't even seem to be worth it.
Yeah.
It's just because of how games have changed. For you to get like a character upgrade, it's like way more, because they want to entice you to like pay actual money.
Exactly.
So I just can't. I don't. When games are too much like that, I just can't deal. I can't deal with that shit, man. I'd rather go do something else.
You're right. You're right though.
Time.
I like to play games where you get something like you get something for playing. You know what I'm saying? Like you get something valuable or something like that. Like
you shouldn't make it that hard for me to get like a new outfit for my character. Like that's part of the fun of playing the game. Like why are you making that so hard?
Yeah, like that's when you're right. Like when I play Warzone, I don't focus on any of the what they call them, the season passes now and stuff like that. Like
every game and every freaking game has a season pass. I'm so over all these stupid season passes. Every game has a season pass. You have to buy for $10. Like imagine if you literally, with all the games that you have, right, you bought a season pass for all those games and all those things. You know how much extra money you're putting into games? Like I already am spending $60 whatever on the game itself. I'm not gonna spend more money. I'm sorry.
Remember back in the day when you bought a game and it was your game. Like you just put it in the system. You didn't even have to wait for it to update or download.
Yeah, you just
played the game. Like, and that's just something I feel like certain things that we took for granted we kind of forgot about a lot. Like at least a lot of people have forgotten about it, because now it's like it's normal. Now you gotta wait like a couple hours for your game to download onto your system or anything. But I remember before, like you're so right, like so many of these systems that are put in place now, like the season passes and stuff like that. And it's just literally these companies are looking at, one company had to start doing it, and then other companies are like, wait, we could be making all that money. We could be making. Let's get a piece of that pie too, you know. And
but it cheapens the experience as a whole. It really does. It just makes it feel just like a cash grab. And anytime for me, things feel too much like a cash grab, I turn away from it.
Yeah.
I don't go towards it. Like it makes me want to just go the opposite way.
And the issue is too, like even with that, like the system itself, you can do that system well. Like you can do that. And like the one example I'm gonna bring up is because like a couple months ago, I was big on Fortnite. Like Fortnite was my thing for like 2 years and stuff when I was playing. Like and I liked Fortnite the way they do, because the game is free, and even though they have a battle pass in there, which is like a season pass, but it's a reasonable price. And on top of that, if you get the pass, like almost half of the payment you can get from the pass. Like they'll give, like let's say it's 1,000 V-Bucks or something like that. 1,000 V-Bucks is like, let's say $10. I'm not sure what the exact price, but like let's say it's $10. If you buy the pass, like you can get like 500 V-Bucks just for getting the pass. So you're only paying like $5 like every 6 months for a new season and stuff like that. So like that, there's ways to implement it where it's like yeah, you're still spending money, but the base game is initially free. The stuff you get is good stuff. Like it's not just like, oh, here's a little trinket for your gun. Like no, you get some really good outfits, really good cool things, and you're only paying like $5-6 every 3-4 months. But some season passes only last like a month or two, and you're paying like $20-30 for it. And it's like, so there's ways to implement it good, but but the greed is just in a lot of companies nowadays. So it's very unfortunate.
Like, oh, it's cheap and shit, man.
Well, it's just like, so I heard an argument once where it was just like mobile games, for instance. Mobile games, you can spend hundreds of dollars in mobile games, like, and so
that's what broke the system.
Yeah, and a lot of companies, like for instance, like if you were a CEO of a company and your idea is about making money, you would probably see like, why do we spend 5 to 7 years making a single player game where we only make $60 on one purchase, when we could make a mobile game that in a couple months, and we could sell it, and we could make hundreds of dollars in microtransactions throughout the whole thing. So it's a good thing there are certain companies out there that still hold firm to like, no, let's just make good story driven games, let's just make good games regardless. But there's other companies out there where it's just like it's all about the money to them, and stuff, and
that's sad.
And that's how it is.
It's sad. Hopefully, I think gamers start revolting against the whole season pass thing, and it changes.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be hard because I feel like a lot of players are gravitating towards the old battle royale style of play, which is cool and fun, but I don't know. I feel like that has cheapened video games, the battle royale thing, and mobile games have cheapened it because everybody wants to make a battle royale game because they're very easy. You basically have to keep this. You don't have to change anything. You really every couple of months you add some new things in, but it's basically the same game over and over for years that people have been playing. Think about something like Fortnite. It's basically the same game you've been playing for about whatever year. They've just changed the outlook.
Yeah.
And there's no like story. There's no. It's just like go shoot each other, and here's these new gun for you to shoot each other, and that just feels. Like I think that's why I gravitate more towards like open world game because I want a story with my violence. I guess. Yeah. Like, if I'm gonna shoot someone, tell me why I'm shooting this person, right? Like tell me why I'm doing this terrible thing towards this person. Whereas the battle royale games, they don't have any. Like I said, they don't have any storyline. It's just here's this gun. You remember the stage that you like? Guess what we're going to do this time? Water now! Haha! You get to swim and shoot each other. Fantastic. Yeah. You didn't like water? Well, guess what we're going to do? Here's some cars. You're going to drive around and shoot each other. Yeah, and there's no actual, like, what's the point? Like, I asked my roommate this because he was very much into Fortnite. I'm like, what's the storyline behind Fortnite? Mm. Like, what's the premise?
Yeah.
Is there, like, why are a bunch of players? Why are all these characters in the middle of nowhere shooting at each other? Like, what's the? And there isn't any.
There's no actual story. Now they do have events every time a season ends.
It's not a story though.
It isn't, but at the same time, I think Fortnite's okay. I just feel like the market is oversaturating it now with things because if you want to have like a thing for battle royale, think of have that thing and stuff.
Right.
The problem is that there's no balance anymore, you know what I'm saying? Like where it was just like I'm not sure about the history of like everything, but like I'm pretty sure Fortnite was the first like big battle royale thing that like that's what started everything. And unfortunately,
Call of Duty was doing battle royales type stuff, weren't they?
No, they weren't. No,
they weren't?
No, they started their first battle royale in their battle. It was what was it? No, that's Battlefield. I'm not sure what, but no, Fortnite was. I think definitely before Call of Duty because I think Call of Duty their Warzone was the first I think battle royale for Call of Duty and stuff like that.
Oh, and so in Call of Duty before you couldn't like shoot each. I thought you could have matches where
you'd have matches like team deathmatch things like that, but you never had a thing where it was a huge map and the circle got smaller and smaller. That was Warzone was the first one for that one. Like Battlefield also did one in their Battlefield 5 game. They did one and stuff. But Fortnite I feel like was the first like at least console thing on console and PC where PC has had hundreds of things for years, but once Fortnite came out with their thing, that's when everyone just started gravitating towards that. And like I said, it's good to have different niches of gaming. Like there's sports games, there's battle royale. Like you can have different things, but the problem is when you oversaturate a market with battle royales. Now that's literally what it is. Like if you want open world, you literally have to wait for like a Rockstar game or something like that.
That's why I love Rockstar games, man. They do the best open world games. Like I was telling you earlier, I recently bought my PlayStation 4 Pro, and the first game that I bought for it was Red Dead, and I'm so glad I bought Red Dead. It lived up beyond. Mm-hmm. The story was fantastic. Like I am a sucker for open world, so you got me there. If your game is open world, most likely I'm gonna try it the F out.
Hell yeah.
But it just lived up cinematically. It was just brilliant. The characters were amazing. It's like they start you're playing a whole different character than you are in the first one, and at first it's startling because you're like, yo, am I gonna play? Because if you know how the first one ends, you're like, I thought I was gonna play his son because you thought it was going to be a continuation of the story, but it's actually a prequel, which my dumb butt didn't realize it until like halfway through the story. And I'm like, oh shit, this is a prequel. Yeah. No wonder why I'm playing with Arthur. It's showing you the sort of how John
him and his gang.
How he, and I thought it was also pretty cool not playing with John after the initial shock of, oh shit, I'm not playing with either John or his son, Jack. Jack, right? I think his son is Jack. When I realized I wasn't playing with John or Jack, and I was playing with Arthur, at first I was like, what the fuck? But then I love, now Arthur's like one of my favorite characters. Yeah. I love that character. He's such a cool character, man. But that story was just heart touching.
And that's great that they took that risk. Like they could have played it safe and they could have just had you playing as the son in the second game. But I feel like that would have been even worse because technically in the first game you get to play as the son. Like after the ending and whatnot, you get to play as him grown up. Yeah, you do. So I definitely think they were.
But I thought it was going to be a continuation of that. Like I thought it was going to be John Marsh's stories and this Redemption 2 was going to be Jack's story on what he's doing, but they ended up just doing a whole reverse where it's the fucking prequel. Yeah, and they didn't even. I don't know. Maybe I wasn't paying attention, but I don't feel like they marketed it like a prequel. I don't feel like it. Well, maybe they did, and I just. Wasn't.
I think they did a little bit in certain trailers and say that because they always come out with different kinds of the trailers and whatnot to emphasize different things in the game, but it just goes to show it's good that they took that risk because I think it goes back to that that kind of theater or improv thing, that improv rule where it's don't. Because in the first game, you kind of hear about this past that John had, when he was running with the gang, and I think they did a great thing where it's don't talk about it, do it. Don't talk about it. So in the next one, you're doing it. You're doing what the gang used to do, and you're seeing that past life of John and stuff. So I think that's a great.
I wonder if they make a fourth one. Then what is that going to be? Is that going to be Are they going to continue to just go backwards in John's story, or are they going to go to Jack? Sorry, I'm so curious to what they're going to do in the story now. If they either way, I feel like I'm interested. If they do go further, if how it goes is they start with how, spoiler alert, how John dies. The first Red Dead, John dies in the end.
It's been out long enough.
Okay, it's been out long. I'm sorry if you don't know. John Marsh dies in the first Red Dead, right? And his son takes over. After the game ends, you play this sort of sandboxy mode, whatever the open world game left with his son Jack, and so in this one it's going back in time, Red Dead Redemption 3. So I'm curious if 2. Woof! Wow, I'm like. So yes, so I'm curious if in the third one if they're gonna sort of continue to go back in the past and we're gonna play more with John Marsh because they talked about Blackwater, right? The whole robbery. In the story before, so we start with the crew on the run, right? Mm-hmm. But the reason was because of the heist that they did in Blackwater that failed, right? So I'm curious if the third game is we're going to focus on that portion where they're in Blackwater and how they got to the point where they ran away, or they're going to flip it to now how Jack is dealing with his dad dying.
I think honestly, if you told me what I think, literally, unless they came out, I think if they are gonna make a third one, I think it's not even gonna have nothing to do with John or any of them. Because I feel because even if they did go back until the Blackwater thing, that's just one event, Because you'd be practically playing as the same kind of crew and stuff. So I think honestly, the amount of work that Rockstar would put into a game and how long they take to release games, I honestly feel I think they're done with that.
What if you play as Dutch? How Dutch's origin into then starting the gang into Blackwater or some shit like that. You still think it's
that is true. They could, but the amount of time that Rockstar takes to make a game, I don't think that it would be they would do all that years of work to just show another crew member.
But think about it. In this one, you're playing as Arthur. You're not even playing as John. John is a side character in the story of Arthur.
Yeah.
You take over as John at the end of Arthur's story.
Yeah.
So you're not. So I don't even like. I feel like the story, as much as it is about John, isn't about John. And it's about this crew of outlaws, because you start with Arthur, who doesn't. I don't even know if he gets mentioned in Red Dead Redemption. Like,
yeah, I think not too much. Yeah.
Right. But he's connected to the crew, so I feel like they might go in a way they could tell a story where they're telling stories with these characters that are connected in this main crew, but their side. So if they told how Dutch's origin, how he became Dutch, into then the story, and then how I don't know. I mean I don't see it much as a stretch if they're already, like I said, you're literally not even playing with John Marsh in Red Dead.
It could be possible. I mean, of course, you can always make, especially at Rockstar, you can always make a great story out of any. Like, they could probably make another great story out of another one of the characters, and it is a possibility. Me myself, I think with 2 games down, they told the story of the gang now, and I don't see them. And if they do make it, I don't see it coming like anytime soon, because I think the next Rockstar is going to be
not PlayStation 5.
It's going to be the next GTA. I think Rockstar is going to be making and stuff, which probably isn't going to come for like another 5-6 years probably.
Yeah, I think the new Red Dead's definitely coming for PlayStation 5. It's not coming for the.
But yeah, they could definitely make a new one, especially with the new, like you said, the new console coming out, the new generation. They can definitely. But Rockstar has the talent where they can literally. Something we can't even probably think about right now, like how they would make a story. They could probably make a brilliant story about another character that we know or something.
Because then it wouldn't. Because I feel like you need to continue on with one of the characters within that, or else it's not Red Dead Redemption anymore. Because if you think about any game, majority of the games that are continue, it's usually that character continues, or that that world. But you need some kind of anchor from the old story to connect.
Yeah, because you need you can change it, but you need to have it be familiar enough,
right?
Where the person still feels just like bring up another game like The Last of Us and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Like you can change it, but you need to have it familiar enough for the people to still be to still care.
Don't ruin that for me.
Oh no, of course
not.
No.
I'm still I'm gonna get on that.
Oh no,
I'm gonna get on that. I'm gonna buy the remastered version. I'm gonna get on. I haven't done the first one, and I haven't done the second one.
You haven't done the first one yet?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, you haven't done the first one.
You're right.
Yet.
So I'm trying to get the remastered. I know. I know.
But also another thing about Red Dead, just to kind of another thought on it. One thing about the main theme of the first game is like the West is being civilized. You know what I'm saying? Like the government is coming in. You know what I'm saying? The Wild West Cowboys, that is ending. So another reason I feel like they probably wouldn't make a third one is because in just of those themes alone, like the first one, the government's coming in, cities are being built, the Wild West is dying, like it's going away, like those times are over. And in the second one, you get to really experience the Wild West when it's the Wild West. Like the government's not even like kind of encroaching like as much as more. It's still like the wild and all that stuff. So I feel like in just of those themes, it really wouldn't make sense to make a third one, because what would you just go further back? And then you could go further back, but I mean for me at least, it just feels like in the themes at least, like the first one, you're kind of the last outlaw. In the second one, you're in the outlaw heyday when outlaws were everywhere and stuff. And in the third one, you could make a third one, but I feel like the story's good. I feel like they think people are satisfied. But like I said, Rockstar has the genius.
I don't want them to end it there. I want them to maybe I'm just a greedy fan. I want them to make more. I want a Red Dead 3. God dang it! I don't. I loved 2 so much. I want a third. It's kind of like having a child.
They have the environment. They have the world, and like I said, once you have that beautiful world that people love, the sky's the limit. So they could probably make a 4th Red Dead Redemption with that world. As long as you have the story, the sky's the limit for them. Now, whether they're going to want to invest in making another story, that's still questionable, but the possibility is definitely there. Definitely there.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Just wanna sing a song.
But
that's my attempt to sing this song. When I get excited, I tend to sing song. It depends. Right now, though, I'm gonna sing a song.
Singing is good, man.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's the way it is. The way of the.
I sing all the time.
Like the world. Hit him with some of that good stuff. Know what I mean? Some of that bop bop. Some of that. Some of that cuckoo. That's how we're gonna start communicating in the future. Some of that.
That's literally what it's gonna be. At least that's what music's gonna be in like 20 years. Like sounds.
Hey girl. Hey.
I will
I just wanna rock rock in ya whoo whoo. Like, it's gonna be just a lot of that.
I mean, it's already kind of out there already. I mean, most people when they're listening to music, most people it's for the beats itself now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty sure they still.
I get that. When I was younger, I feel like I did that. I gravitate towards music with like certain beats. That's why, like, when I'm making music now, I gravitate towards like beats.
Well, no,
like,
there's nothing.
And shit.
Of course, beats like it's the music is like it's like yin and yang. You know, of course, the music has to be good too. But I just feel like nowadays, like a lot of musicians, like, and maybe I shouldn't say a lot because I really don't know
all
my
of
name.
them.
But
all of them. Name them.
A lot
Blah.
of music I hear, it's like I feel like the musician or the artist is literally just riding a really hot beat, and they can just literally be like, oh, this is a hot beat. I can just literally say whatever I want.
Yeah, for
like
eating the muffin.
Yeah,
eating the muffin, the dip in the butter, the dip in the muffin, the good.
Exactly,
The butter,
exactly.
The butter, the muffins are nice.
And I feel like that's why at least in the music industry now, I feel like you like producers are so much more important, at least with a lot of music, because like because you know as long as your beat is fire and you got a hot beat, you can literally, it's like you said, muffin, nothing, something.
Dipping the muffin.
Exactly, like I'm dipping the muffin.
I got a cookie and I'm bending it now. Get in there, eating the cookies are good. I got a cookie, dipping it in
Exactly.
the milk. Cookie, like, yeah, man. It's I think I love that artists are playing with sounds. I like that. I just wish that sound would make sense.
Yeah.
I love that they're trying out new things and reverbs, because that's what when I make music, I try to like make it as different as I can. But I also try to make it make sense. That if I'm having a conversation with you, I can say my song word for word and it doesn't sound like nonsense.
Yeah.
Like if I, because I feel like if someone who makes like a Dip in the Muffin song, if they then broke down their song and be like, all right, this is what I'm saying in this song, all right, I'm dipping the muffin. I'm dipping the muffin because the muffin the good of the dipping the muffin. See what I mean? Like what I'm saying right there is that I be dipping muffins.
I feel like if that like, let's say you're the artist and I'm your manager, I feel like one rule I would always tell you is be like, never break down your song to anyone, because I feel like that
but what I'm trying to say
no,
is that...
No. We don't need that deeper
now listen,
meaning.
Yo, when I say on that hoe, what I'm saying is that she's a bird, now I mean she be tweeting and shit, now I mean, she be and all the, like, yeah, I don't
I feel like the manager's just like, no, it's fire. Like we don't need the
sure I can't just
like, no, it's just you're dipping the muffin.
I can't, like, what if someone at me like what I'm talking about when I'm dipping a muffin?
No, man, they just America just wants to dip the muffin. They don't care what the muffin is.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, sometimes I'm using that kind of that kind of soft muffin. I mean, I want to let them know exactly the type of muffin I'm talking about when I'm talking about dipping a muffin.
Don't think too much, man. Don't think too much. Just stay on that.
I'm gonna say less.
Say exactly.
Less.
Just ride the train. We don't need to know how the hot dog is made.
Right.
It's just we eat the hot dog at the barbecue, don't we?
Yeah, cool.
You know
I'm just gonna say nah, I mean every time so that they alright, cool.
Just
cool.
the nah, actually, not even
nah,
the
just
nah.
Alright. So yeah, they ask me like, yo, what that is? I be like, nah.
Exactly.
Cool. I don't have to explain myself.
Exactly.
Just
all we need to let them know is that you top the charts with that song.
Right.
We don't need to know how we top the
Number
charts.
one.
Exactly.
These motherfuckers.
And honestly, that's how the world is now. They just like, as long as you're making money on it,
I get it. It's hard to make money these days. God dang it. I try very much not to hate on artists like that, because I see space for that. The only thing I hate on is when one of their fans would be like, this is the greatest in the world. I'm like, no.
He is a poet.
I'm like, yeah. That's the only time I start to hate, is if like some little whoever's fan is like, yo, Lil Blah is the best lyricist in the world, no one can touch. I'm like, no. He is not.
Yes.
You like his nonsense, and that's cool. Like, everyone should have their own space, their own fan, but he's not the best. He's the best to you.
Yeah, right.
You happen to like him. That's cool. But
Clayon,
like,
man, you hate him. You hate him, man.
I guess so. I'm not.
You
trying to
old
hate,
geezer. Don't be hating that little pop, man.
Sorry, man. Little pop is just not. You know what I mean? It's just
Not.
It's not even that. It's just not for moi. Good for you.
Yeah.
I just think, yeah. So I don't even hate on like new artists. I think it's cool that they have their style. I like that. I just hate on their fans because their fans go overboard sometimes, man. Like fans of whatever, they just go all out for no reason. It's just intense, man.
And you just sitting here writing Shakespeare raps, and you just sitting there like, you motherfuckers.
I'm gonna be like climbing trees, pondering thoughts in which my mind consumes.
And over there,
like, what?
a little pops over there like popping the muffin,
popping the muffin, dipping the muffin, eating the butter.
and you're over here just like.
And I'm like, why the sun comes out at night when my mood ain't right? Like,
Right? You doing too much. You doing too much, Clayon. You doing too much, bro.
What are you talking about, man? We talking about what's contemplation? What does that even mean?
Bro, we trying to dip muffins, man.
We about that dip life. What are you talking about? Contemplation? What? What?
I can't grind in the club to that, bro. Like
You need
come
to
here,
get,
girl. We gonna do this contemplation.
Like, nah, it's too much. It don't make me feel right. I need some shit like my ass fat jiggle. Like, that makes me feel good about what I'm doing right now.
Exactly.
My ass is fat and it jiggles.
You killing the vibe,
You know, contemplating what? What am I contemplating,
We
nigga?
trying to hit the club. We ain't trying to contemplate life, bro.
Trying to contemplate some dick tonight. I ain't trying to contemplate what you talking about, sitting on top of trees and looking at the stars and shit. Like, fuck that.
Friend zone.
This nigga said contemplated friend zone. He said,
I would want a motherfucking video.
fucking talking about the friend zone, nigga. I need someone that will tell me I ain't shit. I ain't worth nothing. Makes me feel good that I gotta fight for something. You know what I mean? I'm not saying when I'm fighting all the time to keep his attention.
You just bugging, bro.
You like me like that?
Oh, you trying to treat me like a lady?
I don't know. You said I'm beautiful. I need some nigga to be like, you alright.
You a hoe. Like, I want to be called a hoe. Like, what the hell?
Yo, women are gonna hate this podcast.
Oh my god, yes.
You be like, Clayon is offensive. Oh my god. I'm not. I love women. I love them all.
Hell yeah.
I love them. If I could right now, I would marry one.
Just
That's
anyone.
how much I love them.
This is
Just
my
anyone.
location. Anyone.
I'll send out my location. You come find me. I am there, ready
First
to marry.
come, first serve.
Exactly.
But we'll consider multiple women.
Of course, because I'm open-minded. That's
Exactly.
why I'm open-minded. Can't try to pin me down into a box. I fight all boxes. I get wet when I'm in boxes. That's why boxes don't hold me, brah. I'm constantly wet, brah.
Think outside the box. I don't think so. I am safe in my box. 4 walls.
So
Maybe some packing tape.
If it's snowing, not a droplet falls on me. This is perfect for me.
But speaking of the music stuff, it was funny because like a couple years ago when I was like really into like making music and stuff, I remember I tried to make a club song and I couldn't do it. Like it was just the beat was like the beat was nice, like it was not, but I'm just like
Something's just not. Yeah.
I just can't do it. Like
I can't make happy songs. I can't naturally make happy songs without it sounding mad corny. Because my happy songs would be like joy and smile and happiness. It just doesn't. I can't. I have to like.
Well,
all my songs that sound good are like despair, trying to understand. Like it's just not. I don't know. I can't make fun songs.
Well, I mean, you know, when I first started making music, my shit was always positive, man. It got to the point where it was like, now I understand a little bit more.
Jacob's shit was like, yo, go to school every day. Make sure you brush your teeth before you go to sleep. When you wake up, say hi to your moms.
Yo,
say hi to
right?
your dad. It was hella positive. That's why we loved you for it. We're like, yo, Jacob's gonna come at us with that positive shit, make us think twice about our lives and our decisions. Fuck yeah.
Right? It was just, it was great for that environment, because that environment was very like, you know, if you had something you wanted to pursue, man, that was the place that carried us, where like you got that support and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think with that support there, I don't think it set me up for outside that space. I'm just like, yo, why no invited to this, man? Everyone loves it here, and it's just
because people want to encourage you to do your best and to chase the things that you want.
Yeah.
We're not gonna be like, nah, Jacob, you're too positive, my nigga. Yo, Jacob, how about some negative shit every once in a while? Like, it's more of a space where, like, you like this thing, all right, cool, keep doing it, get better at this thing, carve your space out. So
it's funny too, because like the 4th of July, actually, we were doing a barbecue at my sister's house, and my sister's just like, she set up this like outside like speaker and stuff where you could play like your stuff on your phone, and of course she's like, JV, let's put some JV. I'm like, let's not put some JV on. And then it's like too, because for me at least, with my family, like especially like, for instance, like my dad and stuff like that, like I don't really show him this part of like I kind of don't like the artsy stuff. Not like he doesn't like it, it's just like, I don't know, like growing up and stuff, this is not something that I really showed him and stuff. So it's like my dad there too, I'm just like, will we not play all this music and whatnot? But you know, they're being like, it was like they were being supportive and whatnot, but it's just like I can see now, like here, that I can see why the world doesn't really want that kind of like, Joe dented, like it's too much, like it's too in your face. I feel like, I'm not trying to say my stuff it was bad, but I'm just like, I can see why people aren't about that stuff. And I'm not saying,
I think at a certain point people get life thrown at them.
Yeah.
And when life gets thrown at you, you don't want to hear fucking, be as best as you can be. Like, you're like, fuck that shit. That's not life, my nigga. Like, I don't, like, even though I'm trying to be my best, that doesn't mean shit. So I think when you're young, that those kind of lyrics and what you're saying, like stands up and holds a weight. But then after that, once you start getting into teen age, motherfuckers want to hear about shit that they can't experience. Think about it. When you're a kid, you're listening, I don't know if you, but for me, I was listening to songs about things that I wasn't experiencing. Money, cash, hoes. I wasn't experiencing no money, cash, or hoes when that song was popular. But I listened to it, you know? So kids at that age, you get to a certain point in life where you start thinking you're old, and you start listening to old people shit, or older people shit, adults things, and you kind of stay that way for the rest of your life. Once you hit the adult things, you never really go back to childish things other than cartoons. Really, I feel like cartoons is the only childish thing that stands the stead of time. Is that what they say?
Yeah.
And other than that, though, like, but what, like, it was good for the era that it was made in. If you think about any music, you think about some of the music you listen to right now from the 90s or 80s that you're like, this was a hit? Okay. Okay, too legit to quit? Alright.
It's like back then, it's like, when I had the idea for making that kind of video, I was just like, why is no one else doing this? This is an epiphany. It's like that SpongeBob, like, few years later. It's like, now I know why.
But it's all about execution, though, Jake.
That's very true.
Because you can still do that, but it's about how you do that. Because I think when I like my music, I tend to reflect life. Like, I don't make songs about like gangbanging, because that's not me. I've never been a gangster. Like, I don't make songs about necessarily negative stuff, but I reflect what's happening in my life and how I see the world. Mm-hmm. And I think you just need to. The idea of doing something positive or doing positive song isn't the bad thing. It's the execution of it, right? You can still have that idea, but then execute it in a more adult way.
That's what I'm saying. I think my way was too like neat sweet potato pie, like in the oven. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you're so right. Like, you can have the greatest ideas in the world, and some people have had the greatest ideas in the world, but if the execution is not there, then the idea itself is just that. It's an idea. And you're so right. I think my stuff back then was too like, it was too like Betty Crocker, like welcome to the gated house, like, you know, like, and I put it in a way where it was just not to put it down, but it was more like PBS like stuff, you know, like Barney, you know, there we go and whatnot. But you're so right. You need
more PC. I think the best way to you back then you were very PC, and you made a conscious effort to make things that you thought would bring joy and help people to reflect and see the world in a different way.
Yeah. And
I think the intention was good, and I think the execution for the time was good.
Yeah.
It makes sense though why they don't live up to like today.
Yeah.
Because music has probably evolved.
Oh yeah. And you're so right. Like, you can be positive, but you can do it like in a way that's more relatable. You know, sometimes
if you listen to any of my songs, like you'll never hear me be like these you know, it's still very. It's still very positive, but it's not in a way that's like preachy. That's like, yo, make sure you eat your vegetables.
Exactly.
Eat vegetables. Yeah. Like it's just, but it's still like, I would say positive. Yeah. But I guess I don't hinder myself. Like just because I want to make something positive, I won't. The thing that I had to deal with in my brain is like swearing. Like, I've decided not to give a crap about that and just be like, no, this is how I feel, and this is how it feels good in this spot. Yeah. I'm not gonna overuse it. Like, I'm not just gonna be like, fuck up. But even this like song today that I'm gonna let you listen to, not you guys on the podcast, I'm talking about, but that I'm gonna have you listen to. It's a little raunchier than I'm used to, but I'm just like, it feels comfortable. It's not like I'm not trying to be like filthy. It's just this is how I feel in this song. Exactly. This is how I feel in this moment.
You're so right too. Like, when you use when you're using certain things, like even for me too, like using you hit a nerve when you said like the comfortable, because it's something you just feel like, if it feels too forced, or if it feels like you're just putting it in there just to put in there, like even when you say it, you're not really saying it like with that oomph, that natural oomph, you know, but when it's there naturally and you feel like it's justified there, like you really say it with that natural like oomph, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I completely get you with that. Like, you can't force it. It literally has to be something where it's just like, nah, this feels right. This feels right to be here. You know what I'm saying? Like the perfect puzzle piece, you know? Like, and that's so important. You can't force things, and that's how I felt. Like I was being a little bit too much, like just too much, too perfect Bowie, like delivered on the front doorstep. Like, nah, like, yes, of course everyone wants to be proud of who they are and identity, but you literally don't have to say in the song, be proud of your identity over and over again. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, of course everyone wants that, but you don't have to say it so like, come on, man, like Kids Boppy, you know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, I completely get you though.
It's all good, Jakey. It's all good. All right, man. We've had a pretty good discussion. This is our first attempt at this podcast, and I'm excited, hopefully, to do it again and again. It's like, yeah, man. I think we've had a fun little conversation. I hope to have fun conversations with Jacob. Wow, that did not come out the way I wanted it to. I hope to have more fun conversations like this with you, Jacob.
That's awesome.
That's what I meant to say originally. And I'm sure we'll come up with the title of what this is. But thank you guys very much, whoever listened to this podcast. Jacob and I will be back next time with a whole new discussion on, you know.
Woohoo! Down, man. Let's do it.